Car Junction has you covered. Stop by the shop and see our team or visit us online at sportscarjunction.com.
It is Yinzer Palooza weekend in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and what a way to kick it off. The Pirates host their National League Central Division rival, Chicago Cubs. The start of a 6-game homestand. Both the Pirates and the Cubs battling it out for a spot in the postseason. Greg Brown along with our resident Yinzer, Neil Walker. And we got a surprise coming up in just a moment. But Neil, the Pirates may have had the day off yesterday, but Ben Cherington and company busy. We know that between now and the deadline, they're going to try and improve this bullpen. And they tweaked it a little bit yesterday. Dennis Santana, designated for assignment. Veteran Ron Marinaccio now joins the bullpen.
Yeah, Marinaccio coming from the Padres, and the team believes that he can be a guy that gives them multiple innings out of the bullpen. As you mentioned, a veteran guy that's pitched a lot in the big leagues and knows how to get guys out, both lefties and righties. So it'll be interesting to see how they deploy him in this Pirates bullpen, but you hope that it gives them a nice little jolt and moves in the right direction as we get to the end of July here.
And they'll need everybody to be ready because they've got a lot of baseball coming their way, and especially against better teams. 20th consecutive game against teams that are 500 or better, but this starts a stretch of 17 consecutive games.
Well, as you see, we got the Cubs obviously this weekend and the Diamondbacks coming in at the beginning of next week. Both of these teams are as hot as anybody in the National League, so the Pirates are going to have to be airtight. This Cubs team plays very good defense. They've been hot with the bats recently, scoring in basically in the last month and a half the most amount of runs in the National League. So the Pirates are going to have to be very, very good and continue to score runs. But this is a very, very important series for this Pirates team. Those two series.
I was going to say, Neil, that you know it's important because of what we've done here. We've added Stephen Brault to our telecast, but not up here. He's downstairs. What a view he's going to have. There's Squid ready to join us. How you doing, Stephen?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's good to be back in the dugout. We knew we couldn't replace Hannah Mears, so we're going to try something a little bit different. I can't wait to watch the game down here and talk with you guys through it.
Well, you'll have a great look at Jared Jones, the flame-throwing right-hander who's been spot on his last 3 starts.
I mean, that's putting it lightly, Greg. He's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball over this last 3 starts. Since the beginning of July, a 1.20 ERA in 15 innings. He has 23 strikeouts to only 3 walks, and mostly he's been doing it with just 2 pitches. The 4-seam fastball and the slider have been incredible for Jared over these last 3 starts. He's got a 47% whiff rate on that slider. He's also got a 47% chase rate, so he's attacking the zone. He's getting bad swings over and over again, and tonight pitching against a team that he's had a little bit of trouble against. 4 starts against the Cubs in his career in 2024, and he has just an ERA of just over 5, so you know he wants to get out there and battle tonight, and we know he will. This is Jared Jones we're talking about after all.
Boy, what a great competitor he is. What a great night it should be. Yinzer Palooza weekend kicking off. The Pirates bats taking on, as Neil Walker mentioned, one of the better defensive teams in baseball. It's the Pirates and the Cubs. We'll talk about the bats against the gloves. We continue from PNC Park.
Pittsburgh.com.
Beautiful night for baseball here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pirates and the Chicago Cubs. A lot of cones will be involved tonight. Pirates offense, a lot of traffic on those bases. Take a look at the hits by direction. 31, almost 32%, Neil, to left. 28.5% to center, 39.4% to right field. Spreading it around.
Well, why do we bring that up, Greg? As we mentioned in the opener, the Chicago Cubs team is very good defensively, and it starts with Pete Crow Armstrong in center field. Slow start to the season, especially offensively for Pete Crow Armstrong, and essentially in the last month and a half has been one of the better players in baseball. Would you believe, Greg, he has a higher WAR than Shohei Ohtani this season? 25 stolen bases on the season, 21 home runs, He's the do-it-all guy, and he's walking at a very high clip this season in comparison to last. Dangerous, dangerous player. Got to take care of him there at the top of the order.
It's a big series. It's a big homestand. The Cubs and the Diamondbacks kicking it off on Yinzer Palooza weekend, a Friday night in Pittsburgh, PA.
Of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, he has been added to the roster. The MLB debut patch for catcher Sean Ross, as Rafael Flores was placed on the injured list today, the concussion IL. Sean Ross, chance to make his major league debut at some point this weekend. For Jared Jones, this is his 10th start of the season coming off the injured list, and he'll face this lineup. The Pirates have won 4 of the 7 meetings against the Cubbies this year. We talked about Pete Crow Armstrong. Seiya Suzuki will be followed by Michael Busch, and Alex Bregman is the cleanup man. You know all about what Ian Happ has done in his career against his hometown team. Nico Horner at second base. Rookie Pedro Ramirez, the switch-hitting designated hitter, will be followed by Carson Kelly and Dansby Swanson.
For Jared Jones, his car shield numbers on the season. We talked about the last 3 starts and how terrific he's been. He's 2-1 with a 4.05 ERA, 48 strikeouts in 40 innings. And those walks in a nice place, only 12 in 40 innings against this Cubs team, who is one of the better teams in all of baseball in getting walks offensively.
And this guy here in particular, leading the way in that department. 28 walks drawn since June 17th, a .453 on base percentage since the end of May. First pitch strike from Jones. Oh, 2. Greg Counsell bringing his Cubbies to town for the second and final time during the regular season. Bucks have been to Wrigley once. 0-2. And Jones, something that Neil alluded to as well, that he is 1-2 in 4 career starts against the Cubs with a .630 ERA and 2 starts at PNC Park.
As I mentioned, what this Cubs offense is going to force you to do, especially with 2 strikes, they shrink the zone and just try to protect on the edges and wait for mistakes. And Pete Crow Armstrong, not many have been as good as him, as he's just doing right here, just spoiling pitches. When you get the opportunity to put these guys away, if you're Jared Jones, you have to throw competitive pitches, off-speed pitches, and fastballs in good parts of the zone to get potential swing and misses or weak contact.
A 100 miles an hour. Misses. Pete Crow Armstrong, by the way, 25 steals, second most in the National League. Still 3-2.
And for Pete Crow Armstrong, he has as many walks this season as he had in the last 2 seasons combined.
That's
52 walks on the season so far. 24 and 25 combined, didn't even have that many.
Jared Jones strikes him out.
And that's what I'm talking about right here. That's a strike to ball slider from him in a really good spot.
I'll tell you what, that pitch right there, I don't know how you get to that pitch after seeing that 100-mile-an-hour fastball like that right there.
Is it exploding as much as we feel and what the viewers are seeing?
Honestly, it's amazing to watch from the side. Everything is so compact in Jared Jones's delivery, and it's all so perfectly timed up. This is what we've seen from him his last 3 starts. That's why he's been able to get ahead of guys so quickly, and he's doing that again tonight.
Stephen Brault down by the dugout with us tonight. There he is. What a view.
It's great.
You lucky dog.
I know. It takes me back. You know, I haven't watched a game from this angle since 2022. It's good to be back.
Wow. Former Pirate pitcher Stephen Brault down there right alongside the Pirate players. 2-1 count on Seiya Suzuki. Merlin Valdez. Neil, start off with you. What are tonight's keys to the game presented by your Western PA Buick dealer?
Well, with the tip of the cap to Yinzer Palooza weekend, we got to start this home series, 2 series against Chicago and Arizona. We got to start it with a bang and at.
That's good. That is good. How about Stephen Brault? Oh! What the play there by O'Hearn.
Black collar quiz. BCQ. Black collar quiz. BCQ. Yeah, man.
Don't miss episodes of Black College Quiz on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Bottom of the first inning. What a defensive gem that was by Ryan O'Hearn to end the top of the first inning. Another look from behind home plate, robbing Michael Bush. HN Supermo look.
Would that have stayed fair, Greg? I think it would have.
I think so.
Robin extra base hits. An extra base hit right there from Michael Bush.
Said mentioned Jones of Palooza because that was the tips to win from Stephen Brault.
Yes.
That play was made.
Yeah, I mean that'll help the Jones-a-Palooza. We'll call that the O'Hearn-a-Palooza.
Yeah.
But Jared Jones, the way he's attacking right now, it's exactly what he has to do. This Cubs team, they're the kind of team that catches fire. And so if Jared Jones is able to be the fire starter himself, it'll be tough.
Mangum missed game 2 the other day. Back in the lineup, but is retired 4-3. The Pirates lineup. Jake Mangum grounds out to Nico Horner. Now Nick Gonzalez and then Brian Reynolds having a fine season against the Cubs in particular. Merlin Valdez, Ryan O'Hearn, and Marcell Ozuna against the lefty Matthew Boyd, Brandon Lau, Jared Triolo, Henry Davis. Gonzalez has a 7-game hitting streak, 3rd in the league in hitting at .313. And there's Pete Crow Armstrong. 2 outs.
And for Matthew Boyd, Greg, veteran pitcher, just surpassed 200 starts in his career. He's 6-1 with a 4.15. I think he's done a really nice job of in his 11 starts coming into the day. 11th start is keeping the ball in the yard. Doesn't throw very hard. Mainly is just fastball, changeup, slider. But he's going to really try to work that ball in on the right-hander's hands, force the Pirates hitters to either hang out over the plate and look for that off-speed pitch away or commit to something in.
Reynolds pops this up off the end of the bat. Second baseman Horner calls for it. That's quick. 4 pitches.
We can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
I'm sure you got another ride. I do. All right, go get him. Okay.
The Furniture and Mattress Pirates defense, you saw the play O'Hearn made to Rob Bush. Brandon Lau at second. Nick Gonzalez at third base. Jared Triolo at short. Jake Mangum is in center and flanked by Brian Reynolds. And as Merlin Valdez, Henry Davis catches Jones, who faces Alex Bregman. Ball 1 to the veteran third baseman. Bregman will be followed by Ian Happ and Nico Horner.
No at-bats in his career, Bregman against Jared Jones.
Jones 4 previous starts against the Cubs, all 4 in his rookie 2024 season. 2 here, 2 there at Wrigley. And it's 3-0. Bregman with 10 homers, 44 ribbies. Takes the strike. He has been a big thumper against the Pirates in particular this year. 11 hits and 32 at-bats in the season series. .344 hitter against the Pirates. And ball 4. brings up Happ, and we get to our Penn West University stat of the day. Actually, the strikeout percentage in July, only Zach Wheeler of the Phillies has a higher strikeout percentage this month than Jared Jones, even better than the Miz, Jesus Luzardo.
Steve, you mentioned that, Greg, especially the slider usage the last 3 times out and how effective that's been. Almost 50% whiff rate on that slider. And you're seeing him this first time through the order really try to establish that fastball. Was very efficient in the first inning. And then the 5-pitch walk there to Alex Bregman.
Well, this is the elephant in the room. Ian Happ. Squid, what do you do? I mean, he's ridiculous against the Pirates. He's reached base safely now in 41 straight games here at PNC Park.
Yeah, he feels comfortable. But, you know, what Jared Jones can do is that right there. Fastball up and in. That's always been the pitch that's given Ian Happ trouble, left-handed or right-handed at the plate. If you can get that ball there, that's going to make that slider play down and in even more. So wouldn't be surprised to see him go there or back up again.
That's nice. Strikes him out looking.
I think he was looking for a slider there too after that fastball up. It just drives that fastball inner third. Not the perfect spot, but hey, it's set up perfectly, and Happ just couldn't pull the trigger.
So Bregman at first with 1 out. Now Nico Horner. Neil, I know you've talked about it before, that when you have this, for whatever reason, and it just so happens he's a hometown guy, you have this one team that you have success against, you probably feel like you're invincible if you're Ian Happ.
Yeah, he is just, I mean, he's tortured us in his career. And I think you need to look at how you pitch guys like that and how you approach them and what the situation might be. And you know, in that situation right there, Jared Jones, he knows, if you're Ian Happ, he knows how effective that slider's been, especially of late. I know as a hitter myself, Greg, I would look at the last several starts against my side, you know, righty versus lefty, lefty versus righty, against certain pitchers, and see if there's any trends the last 3 times out. And what we've seen Jared Jones do, particularly the last 3 times out, is to put guys away with that slider. So, like I said, maybe it's a case of this first time through the order, really trying to establish that fastball and then going to the slider. But with certain guys like Happ, sometimes it's good to pitch backwards. You saw a 1-0 slider to him that he swung through. I bet you in the back of Happ's head, he's thinking, okay, when I get to 2 strikes, I'm probably seeing that down and in slider. All of a sudden, that middle in fastball plays very well off of that pitch.
Well, here he's got 1 and 2 on Horner. And Horner just fouled off that 98-mile-an-hour fastball late on that, and with that runner at first base, Alex Bregman in 1 out, and this time he goes to a slider that's up. So you like this sequencing, Steven?
I love this sequencing. You know, we take a look at Jared Jones' strikeouts there. You see how many of those fastballs up and above the zone. Horner is susceptible to that.
It'll pop up out of play off that slider.
And Steven, another topic of discussion, obviously I've mentioned a couple times here, trying to establish that fastball the first time through the order. As a pitcher yourself, you were very fastball heavy. At what point do you either change, if you're seeing guys late on the fastball during an at-bat, how are you assessing what you feel like you should do if you're making adjustment as opposed to just continuing to throw fastballs when it's working?
Well, sometimes this is the beautiful cat and mouse game of baseball, right? You got to try to make your adjustment before the hitter makes his. And as you see right there, that fastball was supposed to be up, but left out over the middle of the plate. Horner able to get good one on it. It is difficult as a pitcher because you don't want to go away from your best pitch, which for Jared Jones probably is his fastball, and get hit on the slider, right? So that's the fun back and forth. But we're going to see a lot of both.
Now here's Pedro Ramirez, the rookie. After Horner and Steven just mentioned that he left that fastball up over the middle, and Horner lined out sharply to center fielder Jake Mangum. Ramirez, a switch hitter, just 30 big league games.
Now, Neil, with a guy like Pedro Ramirez, you can take a look at that swing. He kind of lunges out, right? So guys that lunge out towards the towards the pitcher's mound, after you see that late on that fastball there, I don't think you'd want to go to a slider here.
0-1 with a fastball. He has struck out 2 batters. Pro Armstrong leading off the game moments ago. 50 strikeouts now for Jones in less than 42 innings this season. Fastball again.
Yeah, Neil, this is exactly what you were just saying. Yeah. At what point do you change? 3 times he's very late on the fastball. You don't want to give in. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jones go higher than high. Neck high here.
And it was high. Pops up the fastball, and Davis just enough room. On defense, the Chicago Cubs with Pete Armstrong in center field. Ian Happ is in left. Seiya Suzuki in right. Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner up the middle. Alex Bregman, Michael Bush on the corners. Carson Kelly catches the lefty, the veteran Matthew Boyd. A lot of gold gloves out there, helping protect these pitchers, including Pete Armstrong, Gold Glover last year, on his way to another.
Well, Matthew Boyd with a 4-pitch first inning. These Pirates hitters know that Matthew Boyd throws a ton of strikes, and that slider, especially against the lefties, Greg, that he throws at 43%, almost 44% coming into this game, is hit at a 0.77 clip. So I would venture to say, especially this first time through the order, you're going to continue to see these Pirates hitters stay aggressive as to not get to that slider with 2 strikes.
Check out the Xfinity batting stats. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Esmeralyn Valdez, all-time 13 home runs, 7 homers his last 10 games. He hit his first home run in his first game ever at PNC Park against these Cubs back on May the 26th. No swing. Alex Tosi behind the plate. Corey Blazer over at first. Two-two. For a strikeout for Boyd.
Painted changeup down and away after that slider, down and in. Valdez, I'm sure out of his hand, Valdez is thinking that one's going to fade off the plate a little bit more, and it doesn't. It just stays right there on the edge.
And the curveball from Boyd over to O'Hearn. Some recent struggles for O'Hearn. 4 hits in his last 24 at bats. Two and one. Still 9th in the league in RBIs, 64 of them. Lays off.
Actually, I misspoke, Greg. He's throwing that slider more to lefties than the righties. He's only throwing that slider to the righties at about a 10% clip. And that changeup's usage is about 33%.
Fastball pulled foul by O'Hearn, who's not homered since that historic record-setting 3-homer performance against the Braves on July the 7th. Boyd has given up 6 home runs this year in 10 starts. First time O'Hearn has ever faced this veteran lefty. Boyd originally drafted by the Blue Jays, made his major league debut with Toronto 11 years ago. Strikes out another lefty hitting veteran.
Yeah, this was a really good sequence here by Matthew Boyd. You think after that 3-1 pitch that O'Hearn pulls foul, he's going to get a slider the next pitch, but instead he gets another fastball and then a perfect slider that tunnels off of that four-seam fastball. That's what Neil's talking about. That's why lefties have such a hard time hitting it. One thing to watch here that I've noticed so far, Matthew Boyd's starting to use that curveball pretty early in this game. Not a pitch he throws all that much. He throws it slow, and it gets guys off the timing.
Ground ball, backhand play, Swanson. Throws out Osuna, and the Pirates retired in order. 0-0. Pirates Baseball on SNP is presented by Highmark, the official health plan of Pirates, because life, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. And by Cohen Markets. Free ice cream is back at Cohen Markets. Club Cohen members get a free Hershey's ice cream sandwich all summer long. First pitch swinging is Carson Kelly, and he skies it. Third baseman Nick Gonzalez, way up there. One pitch, one out. That's more like it for Jared Jones. Don Kelly won't commit to whether Jones will get stretched out beyond normally 5 innings, although he was so efficient that game against Atlanta here, where he pitched 6 perfect innings, that we had to send him out for the 6th, but he said there's just no way we couldn't let him go further than that. They're being very, very careful with him. They want him to not only finish out the regular season, but obviously they want him to be a big part of postseason push, and they want the Pirates to be playing in the postseason. 1-2.
One thing of note, the guy in this lineup that just looms large down at the bottom of the order is Dansby Swanson. He leads the team in RBIs, mainly coming out of that 9-hole, which is pretty impressive. Not huge numbers, as you see the .213 average, but 58 RBIs. Keep him off base in front of Dansby.
Yeah. Swanson just 4 hits and 22 at-bats this season against the Pirates, but career .300 hitter against them. And there's the slider.
Let's take a look at PCA's first at bat. Brought to you by StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. You take a look at the fastballs here, and as Neil mentioned, interestingly enough, PCA has had the largest reduction in swings this season, and he has the highest increase in walk percentage in all of Major League Baseball. You can see a few good pitches he takes there, and then Jones still able to get him with the slider.
Jumps on that pitch deep to center field, to the wall, and Mangum makes the catch. Oh, he drops the ball. He thought the wall was right behind him.
When it looks like he's arguing that it might have been a transfer.
Be no reason to transfer it. Nobody on base. Pirates are going to maybe see if they want to challenge it, though. They will not. Oh, it would have been a good catch, but it looked as though Mangum thought the wall was right behind him, and it was bracing himself.
Did have it in his glove for a while, didn't he?
But it was the padded wall that he thought was right behind him that jars it loose. He had an extra step and a half.
Oh, almost a terrific play by Jake Mangum. But will go down as a double for Pete Crow Armstrong.
Ball one on Seiya Suzuki. Ball 2. Crow Armstrong. Maybe thought that was gone. In fact, he stops didn't realize that the ball had been dropped. 3-0.
It was a good effort by Mangum. In that situation, it's got to be tough. You think you're right on the wall, and then your elbow hits the wall. It's the elbow that knocked that ball out. That's a padded ball. It's got some give to it, but it'll bounce back.
I never question the effort of Mangum. There he's thinking the wall's right there, but a little more room.
That forearm. See that in football all the time, that ball coming out when guys, their forearm hits the ground on the contact. Just opens up your hand. You can't do anything about it.
It's 3-2. Yeah, in this case, the wall can cause a fumble.
Yes, exactly.
3-2 now.
And not to mention you have a 13-inch glove on your hand.
Yeah. So we'll see if he can't pick up his teammate. As Jones has a 3-2 on Suzuki. Little pop up, shallow right. Foul. What's it look like from down there? That angle, Steven, when that ball is popped up?
You know, it's funny because that ball right there, it immediately, as a pitcher, makes you just sucking your breath. You know, it is so nerve-wracking because you made your pitch, you threw a good pitch, you got weak contact, and all the time you see that ball just float right in there, and all of a sudden you've given up a run. You got another guy probably on second base. So good luck there from Jones, and now you got yourself in a good spot.
(3-2). Pops this one up, and this is easy for Triolo. Jared Jones, 3 scoreless. Hey, tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. we're going to have a brand new Bucks BP show presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Pittsburgh, hosted by our own Stephen Brault. And Stephen, what do you have in store tomorrow?
We got Mangum Mayhem tomorrow. We're going to talk to Jake Mangum down on the field, talk to him about how he gets ready for every game. Bucks BP, one of my favorite things that we do here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. It really gives an insight into what these guys do, not just on the field during the game, but how about to get ready for the game. It's a lot of fun. You know Mangum's going to be great. Can't wait to hear what he does because it's got to be insane. Knowing how he plays on the field, his preparation has to be great too.
Well, and Greg, to add on to that, you know, we don't talk as much about the work that goes into the day-to-day. If you were to show up for a 6:40 game to the ballpark as a fan, and at 2 o'clock, you may see guys taking batting practice. If you show up 1:30, you may see the road team taking batting practice, and that's 5 hours before game time. And then that rolls into, you know, early ground balls or extra fly balls, and then their normal batting practice. So there's a lot that goes on before that 6:40 start that people don't see on a day-to-day basis.
Brandon Lau down on strikes as Boyd is frustrating these Pirates early on through 7 batters. Now Jared Triolo.
Yeah, the pitch mix is not difficult to figure out for Boyd. As Steven mentioned, we've seen him really mix in a lot more curveballs than we're used to seeing. Coming into this game, only 11% curveball to the righties and 7% to the lefties. So something's telling me, especially after that first inning, even though he had a 1, 2, 3, 4 pitch inning, that he's trying to combat this aggressiveness by the Pirates offense by slowing him down a little bit with that off speed, that curveball, and then getting to that fastball a little bit later.
Triolo drives one to right. 2 outs. Boyd had come into this game with not great career numbers against the Pirates. Celebrating being a Yinzer Palooza weekend. Big series against the Cubbies. All Yinzers fired up as Henry Davis, talking about early BP. He was one of those guys who was here early this afternoon. Extra batting practice. Two.
Matthew Boyd looked like he's settling in right now. You want to try to go get him. I think obviously you want the pitch count up, but you can't let him get too comfortable out there on the mound.
And if I'm Pirates hitters going in the second time through the lineup, you might want to change your approach just a little bit. A lot of times lefties like Boyd, even though they don't throw real hard, they want to crowd these right-handers and work that changeup away and the slider breaking ball down in the zone. But now it looks like he's trying to get ahead with that slow breaking ball slash slider. So it may not be a bad idea second time through the order to maybe look for some early, mistake off-speed pitches in the middle of the order, or in the middle of the plate, I mean.
35 years old. Second year of a 2-year deal. Signed as a free agent for the Cubs. 3-2. Avoided a couple of injuries this year. Returned second one June 25th. Had surgery to repair his left meniscus tear and subsequent shoulder soreness. We have a
pitcher's called the ball. Catcher's challenge.
Challenge from Kelly. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
And that's a nice at bat by Henry Davis right there, down 0-2 in the count, taking a couple tough pitches just near the zone. It's easy when you face a guy like Boyd who throws so many strikes to get into full swing mode in 3-1 and especially 3-2 counts. Very nice job kind of slowing it down and backing it up. That's a pitch that normally you chase when you get into a count against a guy like Matthew Boyd.
Henry Davis kind of quietly having a really strong month of July. Here's Mangum, second time up. OPS for Henry Davis, the month of July, up to 745. 0-1. Mangum grounded out in the first.
For Henry Davis, we don't see him attempt to run very often, but with the leadoff hitter up here in an 0-2 count, this might be a spot where you try to sneak something in there if he's going to stay there right here.
Mangum's going to try and get that pitch count up. First inning, he threw just 4 pitches, Boyd. Mangum grounded out on the second pitch he saw in that first inning. 2-out walk to Henry Davis, second go round for the Pirates against Boyd.
Wow.
This is Mangum's game.
I don't know if there's anybody in the major leagues right now that is better at fighting off pitches significantly off the plate
That is so
Jake
wild.
Mangum. That's incredible. And he's not a big guy either, so you wouldn't think he'd have that kind of reach, but he just does a great job of staying through his body, staying through his swing. So frustrating as a pitcher.
I can remember vividly in a bat he had, Greg, in Houston earlier on in the year, left-handed, with 2 strikes, very similar to this, 0-2, 1-2 count, and just grinding. And he swung at a pitch that was just like that last one, but on the other side of the plate, his left-hander fouled it off. And the next pitch almost hit him, and he put it in play for a double down the right field line.
Yep.
And that just shows you there probably was possibly 4 feet in between both of those pitches.
Wow, what an at-bat. First hit belongs to Jake Mangum.
And look where that pitch is.
Wow.
And that's 6 inches from being in the dirt.
I can promise you tomorrow my first question for him is going to be, do you work on that? Do you practice hitting terrible pitches, or does that just come naturally to you?
Here's Nick Gonzalez. Little broken bat, bouncing ball, diving stop. What a play at second. Oh no! What a play by Horner. Davis rounded third. What a play by Nico Horner.
Luck and a little bit of missed opportunity here for the Pirates in the bottom of the third. A terrific play by Nico Horner. But even previous to this, Henry Davis had an opportunity to go first to third on that hit by Jake Mangum, and he decided not to. And you know, it's hard to see as a runner right there. You're obviously relying on the third base coach, but unfortunately that play didn't lead to a run. And we talked about how good this Cubs defense is across the board, and they put that on full display right there. And this is what I'm talking about, this base hit right here, taking PCA to right center field. He's got a good arm. You know, in hindsight, you know, it's the same situation that comes out after this. But Horner just smartly gets up and is aware that it's possible that Davis is either going home or rounding third hard, and he takes advantage of that.
Yeah, Neil, unfortunately, both times there, Henry Davis was looking down when Beasley was giving him, one, the go sign around second base, and then he was also looking down to make sure he hit the inside of the bag at third when he was telling him to stop at third base. Both times, Henry Davis not picking up the third base coach there. But I don't say it's all his fault. It was more one of those things where it was just the timing of it. The timing of it was tough, and it just didn't work out.
Nobody had a better view than you down there, Stephen, for that. I can attest that that is difficult. It's difficult to just hit the brakes on a ball like that because you see it pass you after your secondary lead at second base. And watch Henry.
So he's looking down there, and then he picks up Tony Beasley. Yep. Just a little too late. And hey, good on Nico Horner. He did not hesitate. He threw that ball before he even knew if Henry was going.
Meanwhile, Jared Jones strikes out Michael Busch. Question for both you guys. Is there any way Pete Crow Armstrong even attempts to throw to third base?
I don't think so. Going away from third base.
2 outs.
Yeah, and
he's not going to let that guy go from first to second.
You're always targeting, as base runners, you're always targeting the good arms in the outfield, but you're always trying to be very aware of where they are during that at bat, whether you're on first base or second base, so that you know if a ball is taking a guy away, especially a center fielder or a left fielder away from third base, your chances of advancing from first to third go through the roof.
Bouncing ball, Triolo. Bregman is out. And just to, not to pile on, but to learn, I mean, 2 outs. Davis at first base, and Jake Mangum, great speed, hits the ball into right center field. So Armstrong, with the Crow Armstrong, 2 outs. He's not going to throw to third to allow Mangum to go to second. Just no way.
That's spot on, Greg.
It's a game situation. But he'll have an upper opportunity, I'm sure. Henry Davis, he knows it. As Happ. Levin Furniture and Mattress strike zone. Jones tries to have a 1-2-3-4.
Starting to see that curveball getting worked in here by Jared Jones. Thrown a few good ones.
Yeah, he didn't throw one first time through the order. Threw about 26 fastballs to 23 sliders. Now, as you mentioned, mixing in, and there's a changeup, first changeup of the game as well. Pulling out all the stops, especially against guys like Happ, who have had so much success against the Pirates in this ballpark.
Happ struck out looking in the second. Grew up going to PNC Park. And he has haunted the Pirates since he joined the Cubs. Look out. Former first-round pick of the University of Cincinnati. Number 9 overall in 2015. He is 5 for 13 in his career against Jones, and a called third strike. Ring him up. Jones continues to sizzle.
Welcome to the Toyota Wrap 4th inning. Man, it is fun being back down on in the level of the dugout, right next to the guys. It's amazing. I still don't understand how anybody hits fastballs from Major League pitchers. I don't get it. From this angle, the ball just disappears out of the pitcher's hand and appears in the catcher's glove. Ryan Reynolds up there against Matthew Boyd, trying to turn things around here as the offense has been held to just 2 hits so far through the first 3.
Thanks to Stephen Brault down there. And Reynolds, who is hitless now in his last 12 at-bats, but maybe the Pirates' second time through better luck against Boyd. It was Mangum and Gonzalez who both had hits following the Davis walk. It's Reynolds, Valdez, O'Hearn. Reynolds loves playing in his home ballpark, that is for sure. Again this year, it's been the trend. This year he's hitting .322 at PNC Park with a .993 OPS. On the road, just .235, .722 OPS. Oh, that's cracked to center field, but right at Crow Armstrong.
Now that's 4 good at-bats in a row by the Pirates after 8 straight not so fantastic at-bats to start this game. They're starting to use a big part of the field, but the one guy, as we mentioned, you want to stay away from in center field.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said, Neil, that maybe they need to go on the attack, and maybe they taking that advice, being maybe more aggressive now against Boyd, not waiting around. Of course, he retired the side in order, 4 pitches in the first inning. Boyd 6-1 in just 10 starts this year. Deep third, Bregman on to first, retires Valdez.
It's a good play by Bregman, but a better play over at first base. That's the footwork that we always talk about that makes first base so difficult. Going away from the line into foul territory there to make sure that that play is made. Not an easy play to make. Very well done.
There's O'Hearn. And Bush on the Boyd. 1, 2, 3 go the Pirates. Still scoreless through 4. The last couple days we had the Point Park University Sports Broadcasting Camp. And yesterday, thanks to the great folks at Sportsnet Pittsburgh, set this whole thing up. Matt Capps, Bob Walk, kind enough on yesterday's off day to be on hand to help these young high school students, up and coming broadcasters. There they all are, all from all over the country, joining us for the Point Park Sports Broadcasting Camp.
I'm surprised they don't have headsets and
yeah, really
doing mock.
Yeah, they had the and thanks to Tony Beasley, they did a mock press conference today with Pirates third base coach Tony Beasley. But thanks to everybody, especially Tyler Graham and Adam Elmore, Freddie Ryan, Derek Smith, Zach Gibney, Bob Matter. There they are. Nico Horner, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yep, got the cones. Third baseman Gonzalez. Jared Jones certainly matching his mound opponent, Matthew Boyd. Looking strong again.
It's one of note, these Cubs since June 11th, Greg, have been averaging 6.5 runs a game. When you look at up and down this lineup, it's deep, very deep. We talked about Dansby Swanson sitting there in the 9-hole with 58 RBIs. So they get it done in many different ways with the long ball. They walk a lot. But Jared Jones so far today has just attacked these guys from the jump. And he's done a nice job at keeping the ball away from the barrel.
Now this is 4 straight starts that really does look like the 2024 rookie version of Jared Jones. Heard that before, guys coming back from Tommy John surgery. In this case, hybrid kind of internal brace surgery, very similar, that there's inconsistency from start to start for a while, but then they lock it in. And it looks like he's locked in 0-2.
Well, and I think Stephen could probably speak a little bit more to you know, the ebbs and flows of the season and of a career and whatnot. But, you know, I can remember, again, the first start of Jared Jones' career. He threw out of the windup with a man on first base, right? Like, there's things that you forget, right, Stephen?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing how quickly it catches up to you. But the thing with Jared Jones, I would say, Greg, this is the best he's ever looked. And it's not easy to do that, but clearly Jared Jones didn't take the time when he was hurt just to get better, but also to get better on the mound. His delivery is clean. It is very controlled. Sometimes in 2024, it was a little bit disconnected, I guess you would say. The arm would kind of fly out, and you'd see that command really go. And we're not seeing that this year, especially in the stretch. Everything is perfectly on time. So he clearly worked on it.
2-2. Pop up. Right field. Valdez. I think Jared Jones might go more than 5 again tonight. 10 pitches that inning. Pirates Baseball on SNP is presented by your Western PA Chevy dealers. Chevrolet, the best-selling brand in Pittsburgh. And by Levin Furniture and Mattress, Pittsburgh's #1 furniture and mattress store. The world-famous pierogi eating contest. And the pierogies were judges.
Did Cap sign up for this?
I sure hope so. Well, no, it's not fair. Need a 1. There's the winner.
Congratulations.
Boy, was it great to see Tony Haggerty throw out the first pitch, who, for all intents and purposes, was the face of Permane Brothers for the longest time. Especially the show she would put on late nights in the original Permanes in the Strip District. For those of us who've been around a long time, you know what we're talking about? Late nights.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Starving. I know I fired down at least 2 in one sitting, if not 3, and that's
impressive.
Yeah, it was.
I always kind of thought
it was necessary.
How even more successful Permane Brothers would have been if they just threw like a Permane Brothers truck outside of the ballpark after a Steeler game or a Pirate game or a hockey game. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a line as far as the eye could see.
There was just nothing. It was fascinating to watch that. It could be at 2:30 in the morning or in the afternoon. Didn't matter. They lined them up. 3-2 on Osuna. Pulls his foul. Leading off here against Boyd. He grounded out in the second.
As a player who, when you come into town, when you become a Pittsburgh Pirate, if you're not from here, that's like the first question you get asked. You had Permanes yet? You had Permanes yet? And it makes sense. You got to do it.
Nice at bat. Ball 4. That's all we needed to see. A little Permanes pierogi eating contest, and now Brandon Lau will come to the plate.
The second walk of the game. Sorry, Greg, for Matthew Boyd. Only averaging just under 1.5 walks per start. Let's see if the Pirates can take advantage here with 7, 8, 9 coming up.
Strikeout victim. Whoa.
Man, that's a good
That's
pick.
too close. Yeah, he's got a great move, doesn't he, Steven?
He really does. He does. His delivery kind of leans to it. He just does that little step he doesn't bring the knee up. And so as a runner, when you see a guy not bring the knee up, same thing Kershaw did with runners on first base. He had such a good pickoff move because it just doesn't look like he can even come over to first base.
And now the first baseman Bush not even holding Osuna. What do you think of that, guys?
That's interesting.
It's very interesting. Stephen, how, as a lefty starter yourself, how difficult is it to learn a really good left-handed pickoff move?
Well, Neil, I'll tell you when I find out. I had a horrible move. I don't know why. I just couldn't. I could do it in practice, no problem, and then get in the game, and I just look like a robot. Actually, Michael McHenry and I went through and watched all of my pickoffs in the Major League, and we sat there and laughed at my expense for like 40 minutes. It was embarrassing.
Well, what kind of advice would you give a young left-handed pitcher working on it, though?
Make it as much like your delivery as possible. That is the most important thing. And the way to work on it is to try to find out in your delivery what kind of little places can you go to the exact same spot and still make it over to first. Where in your leg lift or where in your hand lift, and still be able to get to first. But also, you know, what do I know? I had a terrible pickoff move. I was just quick to the plate, and then people wouldn't steal. That was my solution.
That's 3-1. Ball 4.
Wow. Back-to-back walks. Little chink in the armor here. Matthew Boyd. Here comes Tommy Hotovy out of a Cubs bullpen to have a conversation with him. Be interested to see if Jared Triolo decides to bunt right here and move the runners, even hitting in that 8th spot with Henry Davis on deck.
Well, that's a great question. What do you do?
Well, part of that is you got Ozuna on second base. And so that play at third, because of the lack of speed at second, you got to make sure the bunt is good.
Yeah. Very good point, Steve.
Triolo is 2 for 9 in his career against Boyd. Hit the ball well his first time up. Hotovy, the pitching coach, heads toward the dugout. Boyd walking back-to-back hitters here in the 5th in a scoreless game. 3 walks on the night. He walked 4, season high, in his first start off the injured list, June 25th.
And usually this would not be a bunt situation for a team as offensively gifted as the Pirates are, but they've only had 1 scoring opportunity in this game today. Alex Bregman's going to be playing in here at third base.
They're thinking it. Both corners are in. And they're trying to get an idea. And it looked as though he was moving to bunt, didn't it?
This is the kind of situation where you might actually see a bunt play on the defensive side. We don't see him very often. Not anymore.
The wheel play?
Yeah.
The shortstop sprints toward third. Not happening. Not bunting.
Let's see if Bregman budges there at third base. He's not yet.
There he goes.
And he's starting to scoot back a little bit now. So maybe if Jared Triolo wanted to bunt for a base hit, he would want to either make it a perfect bunt or a foul ball down that third base line. Yep.
He squares, and he gets it down. He wanted a perfect bunt. He got it.
Beautiful.
Bunt single to load them up.
I love it, Greg. It's unconventional a little bit, just at the bottom of the order. You don't necessarily want to give yourself up with the 9-hole hitter on deck. But as I mentioned, as soon as, I can almost guarantee, as soon as Triolo saw Bregman go back a little bit, this is probably on his own. And like I said, if you're going to attempt to bunt right here, you either lay down a perfect bunt or you make it be foul. And that's exactly what Jared Triolo did.
I thought Bregman might be deking. I thought he might start moving up quickly after he moved back, but Jared Triolo found the opening and he took it.
Infield back to concede a run. The exception of the first baseman, Bush, in on the grass. Looking for a double play ball from Henry Davis. So the bunt hit for Triolo gives him a 7-game hitting streak. And you see the defense in the infield for the Cubbies. Davis walked in the 3rd. 1 grand slam for Davis. Another look at the bunt.
This is interesting because you take a look at Bregman. See how far back he ends up going. Now he's out of the play. And so this is all on Matthew Boyd as a lefty. That is a difficult play to make, especially when it's down by the line like that. You see he has to field it, turn, and throw to first base. Jared Triolo just took advantage after what Neil said. After he didn't bunt that first pitch, I was surprised to see Bregman move back so quickly. I thought he might be coming back in, but good job by Triolo taking advantage of an opening.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And if that's an 0-1 count, Greg, there, that that he gets into and Bregman moves back, good chance he does not even attempt that, because again, if you don't get a perfect bunt down, it's potential out at third or a foul ball, then you're in an 0-2 count.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Davis. Pops it back out of play. I said Davis has been swinging the bat better lately. Threw that walk in the third. Little squibber. This is going to bring a run home. Davis is safe. 1-0, nobody out. Little small ball for you.
What do you want to do with runners on base and in a 2-strike count and nobody out? Do everything you can, especially if you get into an 0-2, 1-2 count, to put the ball in play and hope that it doesn't turn into a double play, right?
You don't need to hit the ball out of the infield to score.
Obviously. Look at this.
Come on. Davis is fast. I don't think people realize he's not just fast for a catcher. His sprint speed, when he gets going, he's quick.
Yeah.
He beat that out no problem.
So now Mangum. Pirates looking now for a big inning. Couldn't figure out Boyd. 8 batters in. He had been perfect. And then the walk to Davis. Back-to-back hits. Mangum followed by the Nick Gonzalez infield hit. Horner made that great play to throw out Davis rounding third. Remember, we mentioned that Davis would have another shot at a redeemer, and he got it. And a pop-up on the infield. Center fielder Pico Armstrong will call off Horner. Big first out for Boyd. Little pop-up.
And Boyd only at 63 pitches. Bullpen not even beginning to stir down there for the Chicago Cubs. But a hit right here would really put Craig Counsell in an interesting position to start this series.
On Nick Gonzalez. Now they look for that inning-ending double play for the Pirates' third baseman. Boyd walked the first 2 hitters of this 5th inning, Osuna and Lau. Osuna scored on the infield hit by Davis. Fly ball shallow right. Lau can't score on that. A throw from Suzuki. It's up to Brian Reynolds.
Nice job right here on Matthew Boyd. In these type of situations as a hitter, you're doing everything you can to lift the ball, and a pitcher knows that in a well-placed fastball, especially in and up, it's a difficult pitch to do much with. You either commit to it and maybe pull it and hope you don't hit it right into the ground, or you stay inside of it right there and hope you get it deep enough in the outfield to score a run. Obviously right there, not deep enough. Still one more opportunity at least. Try to score a run or two.
Swinging at the first pitch, fouling it off. Reynolds lined out to center field last inning, popped up to second his first time up. Bases loaded numbers, 3 career grannies, a lofty .358 average. He's 2 for 8 this season in bases loaded situations. Lays off. Certainly tempted.
He's been doing everything he can to stay away from Brian Reynolds. We've seen him swing early in his first 2 at-bats. think he's been waiting for that challenge on the inner half with the fastball. Let's see if he gets it.
27 pitches this inning, and with this inning being extended, it looks as though Wilbur Dotel might be coming on. One thing about having a long inning, I guess. We'll see. Might depend on whether the Pirates score more. Who knows? Jones doesn't look like he's going anywhere. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Struck him out looking. What a job by Boyd. Pirates settle for just the 1. See if Jones comes back out for the 6th. 1-0 Pirates. Efficient again. There you see it. 70 pitches. He went just 5 innings against Cleveland, 74 pitches. That 6-inning perfect game performance against Atlanta, 77. And his high pitch count, 81, against the Reds, June the 27th. I think 80 is about the red line, it would seem, for Jones. It doesn't appear like they're trying to build him up, but we'll see. And that inning was going on. You wonder maybe the Pirates scored 2, 3, 4 runs, whether that might have been the opportunity to bring in a Wilbur Dotel. Stephen Brault down in essentially the dugout, certainly the camera well. Fly ball to center field, Mangum. And almost the exact same spot. He tried to make that catch earlier. This time makes the play look routine. But Stephen, how long an inning before you think you start to feel like, you know, I'm done? It's like a kind of a rain delay.
When you're cruising the way Jones is, I mean, honestly, any more than like 5 hitters, right? Because you're chomping at the bit. You want to get back out there and keep dominating. But what we've seen so far is it doesn't seem to have too much of an effect on Jared Jones. So, you know, it's all about keeping yourself mentally locked in. That can be the hardest part. You have to be able to let your body relax, but keep your mind focused.
2-0.
Third time through the order here for Pete Crow Armstrong, leading off the game for Chicago Cubs. The only hit of the day on that ball that just popped out of Jake Mangum's glove in dead center field in the 3rd.
So this is the 3rd time through. Falls behind him 3-0. 77th pitch and the strike. How much do you think Jones knows, Stephen, about the limit? Does he think he probably has an idea that's about 80 or so?
He has an idea of around where it is.
Fly ball to right, to the wall, tie game. Pete Crow Armstrong on a 3-1 pitch hits his 22nd home run of the year, and just like that, it's tied at 1. What a year he is having.
And more than that, Greg, a 3-1 slider at that. That tells you how locked in Pete Crow Armstrong is. I mean, it's one thing to get to this pitch in a 3-1 count. That's a non-fastball. It's another to get to it and hit it in the seats.
I mean, we really haven't seen anybody get too good of a swing on the fastball from Jared Jones today. And in a 3-1 count there, that slider, because it ends up over the middle of the plate, ends up kind of being the barrel speed is 91 miles an hour. PCA able to just get the barrel to it.
Sounds like you think maybe the fastball would have been a better choice.
Not necessarily, just a better located slider would have been fine.
Pop up, O'Hearn, and out recorded. Very close to skipping off the netting, but a big out for O'Hearn. Now Seiya Suzuki looking toward his dugout. Good job by O'Hearn.
Very nice job.
Are you allowed to move the net out of the way? It kind of looked like he did. I love that idea. Just push it away from you.
Why not? Yeah.
See, that left hand pushes the net a little bit, maybe.
Tremendous play. Michael Busch, a fly ball. Probably Jones's last batter of the night. He gives up the home run. Now see if the Pirates can get another run for him. Take the lead. PCA ties it. It's now 1-1 on the UPMC scoreboard. Pirates baseball is presented by UPMC, the official healthcare provider of sports coverage on SNP. Jones getting the high fives and hugs, so he completes 6 strong. Matthew Boyd, thanks to Pete Crow Armstrong, locked in a 1-1 tie with Jones. He struck him out and got him to ground out.
Oh. He has thrown Valdez at least one curveball in every at bat today. Something interesting to take a look at here. Really trying to change Valdez's timing.
Rolls it to third. One out brings up O'Hearn. Now here's a message from Levin Furniture and Mattress.
Get the guaranteed lowest mattress prices for life at Levin.
But it's probably the one thing, as Steven mentioned, the one thing we haven't seen Valdez face is kind of softer throwing lefties. And we've seen him, for the most part since he's been up here, face much harder throwers. Matthew Boyd, very much an old school type of pitcher in comparison to the modern day pitchers, especially lefties, that many of them throw so hard. So Steven, you're spot on with that. You know, changing, slowing him down, speeding him up, in, out, up, down. And we've seen Valdez make such great adjustments in his early at-bats in his career. But a guy like Boyd, he is very, very bright, very smart. You don't hang around for 200-plus starts in the big leagues on accident.
O'Hearn decides not to challenge. 2-1. That's enough out of it. And that change up to drop it into right. A 1-out single.
Yeah, just a little squibber, lefty-lefty changeup away from O'Hearn. You see, just gets enough of the barrel on it. Wasn't necessarily the best sound ever. Kind of hit it on the label there, Neil. How does he hit it on the label? How is he behind on that pitch?
Well, I think he probably was not looking for that pitch, and his eyes lit up. He was probably sitting hard, and he kind of got out in front a little bit as we get a pass ball. Nice. It's kind of a great question for you, Steven. One thing you don't see a whole lot of is left-on-left changeups. Why would you see guys? We saw Boyd probably throw 3 in the 3 at-bats against O'Hearn. What's more effective than that? That's something you see very not much of, the left-on-left changeup.
I mean, I think it's the same thing that he's doing to Valdez with a different pitch, right? Just giving a guy a different look that he's not used to seeing. A lot of times lefty-lefty, you just get stuck in that fastball slider place. And if you're a left-handed hitter, you got to face that changeup. That's not easy.
After the wild pitch, Osuna pops it up. The second out. So Lau will face the lefty hitting Brandon Lau. Or Boyd will try to finish the inning against the left-handed batter. Greg Counsell looking over the lineup card, pacing. His Cubs 23-11 since June 11th. Fly ball to right, to the track. And it's still 1-1 through 6 at PNC Park. Ball game, top of the 7th inning. First of 3 with the Cubs here at PNC Park. Start a 6-game homestand. This Pirates pitch change. Presented by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see. Experts you can trust.
Robert O'Tell, 21 in the third innings in his 10 games. 5 ERA, but 24 strikeouts and 21 in the third. Tasked at keeping this game where it's at, whether it be for an inning, 2 innings, possibly even 3.
He went 3 scoreless on Monday at Yankee Stadium. Allowed 1 hit, didn't walk a man, struck out 5. He came on in relief of Braxton Ashcraft, who went just 3 innings at Yankee Stadium.
Hey guys, we got the starter who throws 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and a nasty slider out of the game. Let's get another one.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Wow. Slider destroys Bregman's bat, and Gonzalez had all day. Throws on to first to get Alex Bregman.
Cutter, slider, whatever it is, it's effective. When somebody's running down to first base with a weapon in their hand, that's usually a good sign.
Oh. 98 up.
This is that pitch I was talking about. If you can get up there, Happ likes to hit the fastball, but he can kind of get a little greedy on that fastball up, which is not something he handles all that well.
Again. As Steven is suggesting that high heater catches the top of the zone. Robert O'Tell recently off the injured list. Half swing. O'Tell to cover, and wow. Very close.
Yeesh.
Too close. They're going to challenge it. Oh my goodness.
Take a look at O'Tell here. Kind of relaxes a little bit too much there. And it looks like Happ takes advantage.
And Steven,
at first base is out. Chicago's challenging.
And if I'm not wrong, Steven, as much as pitchers work on these plays during the season and spring training, your job is really not to necessarily float over there and time it up. It's to get to the base as quickly as possible, even with a slower developing play like this, correct?
Correct. There is no time in which making this play that you want to try to, you don't want to time it up. You want to get there as quickly as possible. You see him slow down there to see if he can time it up. He is clearly, he doesn't know that Happ is sprinting behind him. You see him totally relax right before he hits the bag. And just that little lethargic movement there is going to give Happ probably an infield single. Outs are precious.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner's safe. Chicago will retain their challenge.
The hustle of Happ, and O'Tell taking it for granted that the veteran was going to be kind of trotting down there. The call overturned. Craig Counsell challenges, and now Nico Horner is lined out and grounded out.
I'll tell you what, lesson learned. That's not going to happen again.
Just going to say, Steven, you also hope in a young pitcher like O'Tell that he can right away flush that and not be bothered by it, knowing he'd have had a second out easily.
Absolutely. 7
delivers
pitches.
A strike there.
Yeah, 7 strikes so far. Not shying away.
See if you can get Horner to put the ball on the ground. One ball, one strike on Nico Horner. '23-year-old Wilbert O'Tell. Two strikes on him. Horner, one of the tougher batters in the league to strike out. He's walked as much as he has struck out this season. Davis the block, 2-2. And up the middle. Might have broken his bat, and it's 1st and 3rd. And a base hit by Horner. Happ goes to 3rd.
Tries to go with the cutter there, and if that's down, it's a ground ball. If it's a little up, it's probably a pop-up. Unfortunately, even though it's away, right in the middle of the zone, and you see Nico Horner, he's got that really flat bat path, and so when that pitch is over the middle, he can kind of just lift that soft line drive to center field. And of course, good base running by Happ, showing off the speed. Infield single, and now 1st to 3rd there.
What kind of thought process do you have here, Steven? 1st and 3rd, this part of the game. Guy you've gotten out with fastballs, his last 2 at bats, and Ramirez, runners on the corner. Take us through your thought process here.
I'm going to be honest. I think you're going for a punch out here, and you'd even be okay with a walk. Carson Kelly, not great at hitting right-handed pitching. But I think a mound visit's a good choice here.
It's Davis and then O'Hearn. We'll see if Bill Murphy doesn't join them.
It's the little things, Greg, that can really flip a game on its head. We talked before the game about how airtight you needed to play in a series like this at this time of year against a hot team that's scoring 6.5 runs over the course of the, per game over the course of the last month and a half, pitching fairly well, playing really good defense. And something as simple as a 1-out, ground ball to the first baseman has led to 1st and 3rd in a spot there's a lot of variables and outcomes that lead to a run in this situation.
2-0. Horner has 14 steals in 17 attempts. Pedro Ramirez, the rookie, playing in his 31st game, has fouled out and flied to center against the starter Jones. See Dotel sprinting toward first. Well, that foul ball. 2-1.
That's not going to happen.
No. His 2nd outing since coming off the injured list. Missed over a month. Steven talked about going for the strikeout here.
What would you go with here, Steven?
I still love fastball up against this guy. If you watch his swing, Pedro Ramirez does a full lunge. I mean, he gains so much ground towards the pitcher's mound, and he was late on that cutter that started off the plate. I love the idea of a fastball way up here.
He's only struck out 12 times in 70 at bats. Oh, let's see.
Pitcher's called the ball. Catcher's challenging.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. Oh, Henry Davis. A huge challenge. Gigantic strikeout.
This Cubs team has the most walks in baseball, and you can tell that the Pirates have been able to take advantage of that with some really well located fastballs, as the Cubs not necessarily looking for walks but being very patient at the plate. I love this approach, attacking with the fastball with 2 strikes. It's working very well.
And here's Carson Kelly.
That better placed cutter right there from Dotel. Steven mentioned those cutters up in the zone are ones that typically are flat and find their way. If they're not on barrels, they find their ways a lot of times to be dumped over infielders' heads if you get jammed on them. So if you go back to that pitch, you want to make sure it's down in the zone.
2-0. Second outing of his career against these Cubs. Dotel. There's a strike. Dotel's first major league win. 3 scoreless innings in relief of Carmen Majinski here at PNC Park back on May the 25th. Carson Kelly has done some damage against Pittsburgh this year. 2-1. And it goes to 3-1.
All of these pitches so far trying to pepper the low and outside corner. Just 3 of them just missing. Let's see if he tries to bust him inside.
Ground ball third, scooped, and Wilbur Dotel gets out of it. 7th inning stretch time, looking for some runs. Baseball on SNP is presented by Lincoln Financial. Make your pastimes last a lifetime. And by Subaru of South Hills. Experience the advantage. Yinzer Palooza weekend. 1-1 ball game, first of 3 with the Cubs. Then the Diamondbacks come in for 3. Yinzer Palooza t-shirts given away. 1-1 ball game. The Pirates score on a couple of infield hits. And then the home run by Pete Armstrong tied it in the 6th. Boyd back out there for the bottom of the 7th. Jared Triolo had the bunt hit in the 5th inning after the first 2 men walked. That loaded the bases. Henry Davis followed with an infield RBI single to bring home Osuna.
Still Boyd very efficient going into this bottom of the 7th inning at 84 pitches. Not even any movement down in that Cubs bullpen. I think you try to play a little small ball here if Triolo's able to get on. Give yourself maybe a couple opportunities to score a runner. It's feeling like this game is potentially going to come down to 1 run. Again, you got to play airtight. Pirates got out of a jam right there. Dotel in the top half of this inning. Let's see if you can get yourself some momentum.
Three and 1 to right field. And 1 out. The Yinzer Palooza weekend continues tomorrow night and concludes Sunday afternoon. All kids 14 and under get a Daniel Tiger plush while supplies last. Presented by Mrs. T's Pierogies. Get your tickets at pirates.com/Yinzer Palooza. 1:35 on Sunday. Before the Diamondbacks come in, it's Braxton Ashcraft for Pittsburgh against former Pirate Jamison Tyone on Sunday. Tomorrow night, 6:40, Paul Skeens against another lefty, Shota Imanaga. Pirates certainly seeing their fair share of lefties. Here's Skeens. Seven of the last 9 games seeing a left-handed starting pitcher. Walk and an infield RBI single for Davis against Boyd. Pitch number 91 coming up. And now that bullpen is stirring. Ground ball, base hit. Davis on base for a 3rd straight time.
I honestly love the 2-0 swing just as much as I love that swing. Aggressive, going out and getting the fastball. We've seen Matthew Boyd kind of taking advantage of the good approaches by this Pirates lineup. We know the Pirates love to go to the right side. Matthew Boyd's been using that fastball to bust these guys in all night. Henry Davis there says, you know what? You want me to pull the ball? Fine. I'll pull the ball. Gets himself a knock.
Here's Mangum with that extended at bat. In the 3rd inning and singled. Last time up, flied out to center.
Okay,
really strong month of July.
One pitch in the zone. Everything else, look where these all are. They're crazy. They're way out of the zone. Amazing to see what Jake Mangum can get to, and then the pitch that he gets a base hit on. Maybe the worst pitch he saw. Might have bounced if he didn't swing at it. Incredible, just the way that he's able to put balls in play.
Oh, here we go again. Get
Yeah.
yourself into a 1-2 count. Buckle up.
Get yourself a beverage, sit back. 94 pitches for Boyd. Matches the longest since before going on the injured list a second time in early May. 98 his season high.
Well, if you're Henry Davis right here, you want to make sure as a runner on first, you check that outfield. Look at that gap in left center field and how deep Ian Happ is playing.
Again, waits, sees the changeup, fouls it off.
Interesting to see two righties. The double barrel, usually you see that at lefty and righty for situational. Two righties there for Craig Counsell warming up.
Jacob Webb, Gavin Hollowell. Runner goes, and a bouncing ball. Look at this! More Mangum mayhem! Incredible. First and third. Let's go.
And Greg, there's not a more perfect guy, and I actually don't think this was a hit and run. I think this was a go on first move. If you're Henry Davis, I thought at some point he may take a chance at going, because you know with Jake Mangum, especially with 2 strikes, he's swinging at everything. And your perfect scenario right there, you get a second baseman covering, as you see Henry Davis look back, and now you got some action.
I got to be honest, guys. You would have thought that Jake Mangum hit a home run the way the dugout just reacted. They love it. They love the Mangum mayhem. And you see why there. Just a good approach. Mangum, once again, just fighting stuff off. And then he gets a pitch that he can sort of handle and puts it in play. Henry Davis kind of making up for not taking third that last time with zero hesitation, booking it around second this time.
Have you guys seen anything like Mangum? Just what we have seen?
I mean, the only person that comes to mind for me is a guy like Placido Polanco.
Wow.
Right? I mean, obviously not a switch hitter, but just a guy that almost the best pitch to him is a fastball right down the middle. That's probably the pitch that he was going to jam himself on or hit a ground ball to the shortstop. But it's just remarkable. This pitch is up and away. He's not trying to. That's normally a ball that if guy puts in play, he's going to hit it straight up in the air. Mangum with 2 strikes, all he's trying to do is just create chaos, put the ball on the ground, and run. And now you got an opportunity going into the last 6 outs of the game to at least push 1 run across.
Gonzalez. Fly ball left field. And that should be deep enough for Davis. Not sure, though. Happ has a good arm. Davis going to tag. Throw toward the plate. Going to be close. Davis is going to be out. What a play by the 4-time Gold Glove left fielder Ian Happ. An absolutely perfect strike to get Henry Davis. A double play ends the bottom of the 7th. A strike to get Davis. Henry Davis thrown out at the plate on a perfect strike from Ian Happ to Carson Kelly.
Yeah, off the bat, it looked like this ball was going to be deep enough. And as you see, Happ racing in here and actually looking at the flagpole in left field, it helped bring this ball in a little bit. And if that ball was probably 6 feet deeper, he would have had a much tougher play at home.
Perfect timing. Tony Beasley just came up to me and basically just said, hey, right there, you take the chance. We know Ian Happ's got a good arm, but you take that chance every time with 1 out. Henry Davis got good speed, but hey, perfect throw. It's going to happen.
Mason Montgomery facing Dansby Swanson, 0-2.
Here's the numbers for Mason. 42nd game for him, 40 1/3 innings pitched. Just under a 4 ERA, 60 strikeouts in those 40 1/3.
He's been dynamite recently. Man, his fastball, even from this angle, just looks unhittable. Wow.
That sure was. He strikes out Swanson, brings up Pete Crow Armstrong.
So here's something interesting that I have noticed recently. Mason Montgomery has started throwing a sinker that you just saw right there, but it's not a sinker, it's a rising two-seam fastball. You know who else threw that pitch? Aroldis Chapman. Very similar profile here from Montgomery, and man, if you're going to get compared to somebody, that's a pretty good one.
A great comp, Stephen Brault. That strikeout presented by Coppers, protecting what matters, preserving the future. Crow Armstrong with the home run.
Now the equalizer right here, 3-1 count in the 6th inning to tie this ball game. And then a couple missed opportunities in the 7th inning for both the Cubs and the Pirates to get us to this point.
Montgomery falls behind Pete Crow Armstrong, 2-1. Crow Armstrong, a .289 hitter against lefties with an .874 OPS. 3-1. Play. .900 OPS coming into this game, 6th highest in the league, and Neil Walker mentioned at the outset that 6.4 WAR, wins above replacement stat per Fangraphs, ahead of Shohei Ohtani. Struck him out looking, in a quick challenge as he backpedals toward first. He feels there's absolutely no way that's a strike.
I think he's going to be a little bit surprised here.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. Watch his reaction.
You love when it goes your way, don't you, Greg?
Man, I get why he thought it was a ball, though. Look where this pitch is. It looks like it's down the entire time and just stays perfectly on plane right at the bottom of the zone. And you can't really blame him. He thought there was no question that was down below the zone. And, man, Mason Montgomery's fastball, I can't get enough.
Seiya Suzuki. By the way, that reaction, that whole sequence is why baseball's never going away from the ABS challenge system. Just saw it right there. Fans love it too much. Wondering about the automated system where every pitch is called by a computer. That's not going to happen. The drama, 1 ball, 1 strike. And these umpires, we talked to a few of them on this last road trip. They like it a lot. They want it all these calls to be correct. And there's a strike, and it's 1-2 as Montgomery tries to strike out the side in order. Crowd of over 33,500. Got a lot of drama already. Game 1 of 3 against the Cubs. And big plays, big moments. Including Davis getting thrown out at the plate moments ago. And a great play by Ian Happ. One and 2. The bottom of this inning, Brian Reynolds, Esmeralyn Valdez, and Ryan O'Hearn are due up. 2-2. Yes, strikes out the side in order. Pirates baseball on SNP is presented by AHN, official medical provider of your Pittsburgh Pirates, and by Giant Eagle, your home team for groceries. Mason Montgomery gets Swanson, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Seiya Suzuki in order. The last two caught looking.
Montgomery absolutely on fire right now. He has 10 scoreless outings in a row. He has 19 strikeouts over his last 9 2/3 innings. Only 4 walks. And Greg, one hit over his last 9.2 innings.
Here's Jacob Webb, also on quite a roll. Scoreless streak has reached 11 games, 11 scoreless innings, going back to June 24th. Jacob Webb.
His 45th game. Nice ERA. See, changeup kind of coming from a sneaky arm angle, especially for these left-handed hitters.
Reynolds turns around to bat left-handed, was 0 for 3 against the southpaw Matthew Boyd. Now hitless in his last 14 at bats, make it 15 at bats. Yinzer weekend continues tomorrow night. Just a limited number of tickets available tomorrow. First 20,000 fans will get the Dr. Robbie bobblehead presented by Mrs. T's Pierogies, celebrating the Pittsburgh-based Emmy Award-winning medical drama, The Pit. Get your tickets at pirates.com/YinzerPalooza. Tomorrow night, then Sunday afternoon, the series. One ball, one strike. Gregory Soto getting ready for the 9th inning. Now ball, third base. And for the 3rd consecutive at bat, Esmeralda Valdez grounds out to Alex Bregman. Of course, the Pirates playing National League opponents and Cubbies of the top wild card spot. The Diamondbacks currently occupy the 3rd and final wild card spot. The Pirates a game back, and those Diamondbacks coming to Pittsburgh Monday night. They're currently tied with the Nationals in D.C. in the 7th inning, 2-2. O'Hearn got the base hit off the lefty Boyd in the 6th, and his next at bat, he rips one into center field.
Just another professional at bat from Ryan O'Hearn. Gets that changeup low and away, spanks it up the middle, and this is what we get, right? A little bit of a lull from Ryan O'Hearn recently, and then of course he just finds ways to get the barrel to the ball, gets himself a few knocks.
It is. It's a sustainable approach, day in and day out, for a guy like Ryan O'Hearn. He's so strong. He has very limited movement at the plate, and so you know he's not going to go through long hauls unless, of course, he's not swinging at strikes. We've seen him stay in the zone. He's so compact. When he's finding the barrel, usually good things are happening.
Osuna has homered off of Webb in the past, but it's going to ground out to end the inning. And we'll go to the 9th, tied at 1. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night. Paul Skeens takes the mound. The coverage starts at 5 o'clock. The BP show, hosted by Stephen Brolt, will get it kicked off. Skeens versus the lefty Shota Imanaga. Paul Skeens beat Cleveland. You saw the video. This last road trip, giving up just 1 run in 7 innings of work.
Clean inning for Mason Montgomery. Going to turn it over. As you see, Paul Skeens right there.
Seated on the other side there of Glenn Nutting.
He's going to give way to Gregory Soto here. 43rd game for him. His Valvoline numbers 3.89 ERA.
Ball 1. Soto picked up the save on Wednesday. Game 1 of the doubleheader against the Yankees. A 1-2-3 10th inning. The Pirates won it 5-3 at Yankee Stadium.
Hey, Neil, I'm just curious what it would be like as an offensive player to have to game plan knowing you're going to face Jared Jones, then Paul Skeens, and then Braxton Ashcraft. 3 guys who have a ton of velocity coming at you over 3 days. Do you prepare for that specifically?
You're definitely setting your approach to make sure you're covering, the upper velocity, and then you're trying to figure out, okay, with his secondary pitches, what is he most likely going to attack me with the secondary pitches? Is it, for a guy like myself that saw a lot of fastball changeup combinations, that would be where my thought process would go to. But when you got guys like this that are, you miss a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, you're probably getting a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, right, and then you're probably getting a buried slider or a changeup down and off the plate. The room for error in today's game is just so much smaller than it was, because you're rarely seeing the sinker slider guys anymore. You're seeing, the upper velocity four-seamers at the top of the zone with wipeout sliders and good changeups. It's a challenge on a day-to-day basis for these guys, and it's no surprise when you look at the numbers across the league year after year over the course of the last 6 or 7 years, that the averages of guys have just continued to go down. But then it turns into how much damage are you doing when you are putting the ball in play.
Yeah, except the Pirates, right? Pirates have turned it around this year. One of the best offenses in baseball after being the worst offense in baseball last year. You've got to appreciate how difficult that's got to be over an offseason to fix.
The 3-2 pitch, Bush on to first.
That's a big out right there. We know if Gregory Soto can stay away from the walk or getting too many times in 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 counts, that he tends to have a good amount of success. Good start to this 9th inning to get the 3-hole hitter Michael Bush out.
Strike on Bregman. Caleb Thielbar getting set in the Cubs bullpen. Fly ball center field. Mangum. 2 outs. Now Ian Happ comes to the plate, and had it not been for Wilbur Dotel not covering, just getting there a little bit late, he'd have gotten Happ, but instead they challenged and it was overturned, so Happ got credit for the hit. Penn West University educating you. That means now 42 consecutive games he's reached base safely here at PNC Park.
The first time I heard that stat, I was thinking back to when I was pitching against him here in PNC Park. I'm like, did we really never O for him at home? And we didn't. That's crazy.
That's the longest by a switch hitter at a visiting ballpark since Pete Rose had a 63-game on-base streak down in Atlanta against the Braves between 1972 and 1979. That is crazy. Got Nico Horner on deck. Happ 0 for 3 versus Soto in the past. Horner is 2 for 3. In the bottom of the 9th, the Pirates have due up Brandon Lau, Jared Triolo, Henry Davis. Nice birthday present for Frank Mooney of Imperial, PA, to try and get a walk-off W against the Cubs. Need one more out here. Broken bat, roller foul.
Well, Nick Gonzalez is going to be playing deep and covering that line down the third baseline to keep potential double out of play. The outfielders playing about as close to no doubles as you can get, but not quite fully committed to no doubles.
Another 2-2. Another foul. Happ hitting just 168 against lefty pitching this season. 4 of his 18 home runs off lefties. Pop up. Shortstop Triolo out, and Gregory Soto has a 1-2-3 top of the 9th. How about a walk-off in front of over 33,500? That's what the Bucks are going to try to do. Pirates baseball on SNP is presented by UPMC, the official care provider of sports coverage on SNP, and by #1 Cochrane Club One Rewards. Earn points, save money, and get discounts on gas. Join for free at clubonerewards.cochrane.com. They are fired up here. Start of the Yinzer-Palooza weekend, and what better way than with a walk-off over the Cubbies. That's what the Pirates are going to try to do here against Caleb Thielbar.
Yeah, the lefty, we've seen him a few times this season already, trying to keep this game where it's at. Kind of interesting. Not necessarily a high leverage lefty Thielbar is. He's going to be tasked to get out Lau. And Triolo and Davis, 2 righties behind him.
The other way. Oh, line right at third. 1 out. Lau ropes it to Bregman. Let's recap what's happened so far in the game. Dashboard report presented by your Western PA GMC dealers. Jared Jones was brilliant. Gave up the home run to Pete Crow Armstrong that tied it in the 6th. Matthew Boyd went 7. Gave up the 1 run. Henry Davis on base 3 times. Jared Triolo at the plate. Had a bunt hit, extending his hitting streak to 7 straight games.
Oh, whoever wins this game, they're going to have really earned it. Pitching has been very good throughout this game. Both sides have gotten out of a couple jams. Both offenses haven't been able to capitalize in some big situations.
There's that hard hit line drive out.
Bregman just perfectly placed over there at third.
No walk-off hits in Triolo's career. Pirates have 2 walk-off wins this season.
Two feels staggeringly low, doesn't it?
I was thinking the same thing, Steven. It really shocks me.
Just feels like this team has played so well this year.
Yeah.
You'd have thought, but they've won so many games by multiple runs.
True. That's why they have one of the best run differentials in baseball. They came in with the 6th best run differential in all of Major League Baseball, plus 51. Only the Dodgers, Brewers, Braves, Yankees, and these Cubs have a higher run differential than the Pirates, and now it's 3-2. Thielbar strikes out. Triolo on the curveball.
Good pitch here from Thielbar. Big curveball he's got. Basically the classic 12-6. Take a look at that spin. It's kind of spinning the opposite way really you'd think it would. And that's a perfectly placed curveball there, 3-2.
You got to feel pretty confident throwing a 3-2, 12-6 curveball at this part of the game. Thielbar gets it done.
Was it foul? Davis 0 for 3 in the past against Thielbar. And it looks like we're going extra innings to start this series at homestand. On to the 10th. Johan Ramirez going to be coming on. $33,593. Clubs scoring single runs. The Pirates in the 5th, the Cubs in the 6th, and now Johan Ramirez tries to keep it tied. We'll still have the automatic runner at second base, Ian Happ.
There's fouling numbers for Johan, 43rd game for him. Very good lately. 59 strikeouts in those 53 in the 3rd innings.
Got to be a little extra nervous, even though he's a grizzled veteran. Major League debut with the Seattle Mariners 6 years ago. Jason Mackey on Pirates.com wrote the story about how tonight will be the first time his mom sees him play in the major leagues. Yolanda Ramirez. Talk about how excited he was. Chance for her to see him play in the major leagues. 0-1. Nico Horner. Talked about it a lot since that rule was implemented in extra innings. The automatic runner starting at second base, the guy who made the last out the previous inning, in this case Happ. And how important it is if you're a visiting team to score more than just that one. There's Mom capturing it all. Seeing her son in the major leagues for the first time.
Just a permanent smile on her face, huh, Greg? How great.
Yeah. That is great.
It's always nice to know that there is somebody in the stadium who does not care what happens.
Horner able to foul that curveball off, and Johan Ramirez and some of the other relievers, tough time last 24 hours to say goodbye, at least for now, to their good buddy Dennis Santana, designated for assignment yesterday. 0-2. Big strikeout, 98.
Oh, and as you mentioned, one of the toughest guys to strike out in this Cubs lineup, if not across the league. 36 strikeouts and 36 walks coming into this game. That is huge. Nico Horner, one of the best at situational baseball, and a perfectly placed 98-mile-an-hour fastball up and away from Johan.
What a great pitch. Set that up really well with the breaking balls, and then perfectly placed up and away. And 98, that helps.
And now it's Pedro Ramirez, the rookie switch hitter, facing Johan Ramirez. Pedro Ramirez has fouled out, fly to center, and struck out looking. And foul. Yeah, Johan's been around, again, Major League ball several years, starting with the Mariners in 2020, parts of 3 years in Seattle. On to Cleveland, his first stint with the Pirates, the end of the 2022 season, part of the following year, but then to the White Sox. Came back last year. Bouncing ball, Triolo. Not much of a chance, but made it close. An infield hit for Pedro Ramirez, first and second, 1 out.
Well, the good news is Ian Happ didn't advance on this play. Put more pressure with runners in the corner, but nothing. Jared Triolo, you see how far he's got to go to get this ball away from first base. You almost wish Happ would have gone to third. That would have been his best chance of getting an out. Smart base running by him.
And now it's Michael Conforto, a veteran, pinch hitting.
Conforto, he's got 4 pinch hit home runs this season. Dangerous, dangerous hitter off the bench for the Cubs.
Quick strike.
Good pitch there. I love just going right after him with that fastball inside. 99 miles an hour, right on the corner inside. He's just coming off the bench. He's not going to be able to get to that first pitch.
Oh, 1-2. Numbers this season. Pinch hitting for Michael Conforto.
What a weapon to have, huh? Coming off the bench. Not only being able to provide base hits, but also providing a lot of power off the bench.
A broken bat. They don't know what to do on the bases. They do a nice job getting back. 2 outs.
You're tempted to. You're tempted to let that drop right there.
What would you have done, Neil?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a weird ball. You can't really lay back on that just in case that ball takes a funny hop. And obviously, if you go to it right here and commit, you can't just drop it. They're going to call you for just giving you an automatic out. I think that was the right play, though.
Here's Dansby Swanson.
Pitcher's called the ball. Catcher's challenging.
Henry Davis got it right earlier. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
Pitches the ball. Pittsburgh has 1 challenge remaining.
If you don't have any challenges left, in this case the Cubs used up their challenges through 9. They get 1, so they have 1 in extra innings. Two 2-0 on Swanson, and look who's on deck. You don't want him coming to the plate if you can avoid it.
Yeah, I like this mound visit here by Henry Davis. Yohan Ramirez has come into a really tough situation, and so far has been fantastic. Now with Dansby Swanson at the bottom of the order, you think 9-hitter, you can just attack this guy. But as Neil was discussing earlier, this guy's got a lot of RBIs, leads the team in RBIs. And so even though you don't want to face Pete Crow Armstrong, you also don't want to give Dansby Swanson an easy pitch to hit. So a tough situation for Yohan here.
Swanson 3 for 6 off Yohan Ramirez in his career. Into center field, a base hit, and the Cubs might take the lead. The throw to the plate is going to be close and safe. Davis did all he could. The throw from Mangum. Cubs take the lead on the Swanson single to bring home half.
What do you think, Steven? You got a pretty good view of that right there.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he may have gotten around the tags, not slid underneath it necessarily, but because the throw took Henry away from the home plate, it was going to be really tough for him to get all the way back.
Is safe. Pittsburgh's challenging.
Strong throw by Jake Mangum, though. Just a little bit off target.
And it seemed to me...
Oh, he might have missed.
Did that front toe clip the plate?
I don't think it did.
This would be one of the most incredible overturned calls in the replay era. Truly. Crow Armstrong telling him have to get down, but did that left foot pop up? And if it did Davis get the other knee before it hit the plate? That right knee. The Mangum throw.
Man.
95-mile-an-hour throw from Mangum, put everything he had into it.
His safe call on the field here is going to be tough.
And it's interesting how deep Henry Davis took that as a catcher. Having taken throws as a catcher from the outfield, you're always looking for that easy hop. And obviously that one took him a little bit up that third baseline. You wonder if he would have had to do it all over again, if he would have tried to stay as close to home plate.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner's safe. Pittsburgh will lose their challenge.
And this is a really good throw. As you see it kind of tail away, that would be my only question is, could Henry have moved up a tiny bit, that thrown coming into home, and would it have made a difference?
Ball one on Pete Crow Armstrong. Two balls, no strikes. RBI single for Swanson. They're going to walk him intentionally. Now, this is something you don't see very often. Shows you the respect they have for Pete Crow Armstrong. Load the bases. First base was not open. And they face a tough customer in Seiya Suzuki, who's 3 for 7 in his career against Yohan Ramirez. Well, that is very unconventional. See if it pays off. And sometimes the other thing, the added element that Ramirez can have some control issues. Don Kelly decides to not take his chances with Crow Armstrong and instead walks him to load the bases, and now no place to put Suzuki.
Ramirez has fallen behind 2-0 on each of the last 3 hitters, so Bill Murphy's going to go out and have a chat with him. I got a question. This is an interesting situation because, like you said, Greg, no open base at first. But if the runners were already on second and third, would you have walked PCA there?
Yeah, of course. Everybody would, Stephen, and you and Neil both know, but they don't do it when
right.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
First and second occupied, they don't do it. But yeah, second and third, first base open, automatically you walk PCA.
Put yourself
right?
in the same situation, but
yeah, that is an interesting point, Stephen. You don't necessarily see that a lot, but you're right.
You never see that. You never see what we just saw, unless Barry Bonds is at the plate,
and the bases could be loaded.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, obviously, your variables with runners on first and second, if a ball is put in play with the the lead runners in the
yeah, now you push the runner
right
90 feet.
But that's a good point.
So now it's 2-0 on Suzuki. Ooh, 3-0. Walks him on 4 pitches to force in the run. A huge second run. And now 3-1.
Yeah, this has unfortunately been the Achilles heel for Yohan Ramirez. Thrown just 1 strike over the last 3 hitters that he's faced. The hit by Dansby Swanson, and then 2 balls and the intentional walk to PCA, now 4 in a row. And it doesn't get easier.
Pirates team bullpen ERA 4.26 is 9th in the league. The Cubs actually have a worse a worse earned run average among their relievers, 427. That's 11th highest in the National League. The big difference for the Pirate relievers is the walks. They've walked 370, third most behind only the Reds and Giants. Struck him out, but damage done. Pirates will have their shot now with the top of the order due up in the bottom of the 10th, down 2. Mangum will lead off. On the UPMC scoreboard, Pirates baseball is presented by UPMC, the official healthcare provider of sports coverage on SNP. Miguel Amaya takes over behind the plate for the Cubs as Carson Kelly was lifted in favor of the pinch hitter Conforto. And Gavin Hollowell takes over to try and earn a save.
Now Hollowell, he's been garnering more high leverage situation work of recent, only 12th game for him. Got a 186 opponent average. Opponents are just not hitting that fastball, both lefties and righties. 95, 96 mile an hour on the fastball.
And Mangum trying to bunt for a hit, but he is out. With the runner at second, tries to bunt for a hit, and now one out, runner at third.
I love this effort from Jake Mangum. Unfortunately, you see where Bregman's playing. That bunt a little bit too hard. You saw Jared Triolo's earlier, the way he kind of deadened it, hit it off the very end of the bat right there. A little too much barrel. When you bunt, you want to actually try to deaden the ball just a little bit. Good effort by Mangum. Unfortunately, nice play by Bregman.
And I think, again, to your point, Stephen, it's another one of those situations where you either lay down an absolute perfect bunt like we saw Jared Triolo do early in the game, or you just bunt it foul.
Right.
Because I like Mangum's chance at sneaking one through and maybe having first and third and nobody out. Now we get a runner in here, but you're going to have to put some work together to score that tying run now.
3-2 game. And Brian Reynolds. Last shot for Pittsburgh. Reynolds 0 for 4 and hitless in his last 15 at bats. Hollowell looking for his first save as a Cub, second major league save. His other one came 3 years ago as a member of the Colorado Rockies. High ball to right, and the Cubs win in 10. Reynolds is retired. And suddenly the Pirates offense struggling to score runs, Neil.
Yeah, game of missed opportunities till the top of the 10th there. We had the Cubbies first and second and 2 outs. And Dansby Swanson comes through with a huge hit and then an intentional walk and another walk to score that second run. And as we talk about a lot, more than one run in extra innings tends to be a killer. And that's exactly what happened in game 1 of this big series here in Pittsburgh.
Time for the North Star Chevrolet Buick and GMC star of the game. Still going to go with the Pirates starter. Jared Jones, 6 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. That 1 run, the Pete Crow Armstrong game-tying homer in the 6th, Stephen.
Both of those hits that he gave up, both the Pete Crow Armstrong. Other than that, he was fantastic. Only the 1 walk to the team that walks the most in baseball. He was attacking the zone. The 4-seam fastball and slider combination was great again. Used the curveball and changeup when he had to, but man, he has had an incredible month of July. Can't wait till the next time around for him.
Bummer, but game 2, the Yinzer-Palooza weekend, will be tomorrow night with Paul Skeens on the mound. 33,593 saw a good ball game. Unfortunately, the Cubs win it in 10. The final count of 3-2. Stick around, we'll go back to the studio. Rob King will be joined by Matt Capps and Alex Presley. So for Neil Walker and Stephen Brault, down on field level, Greg Brown, thanks for watching. 3-2 Cubs in 10.